There is no need to panic. That is something which we are reaffirming as well. But the only way to not panic is to be as aware as possible of the situation. Now, at Times Network, we take our responsibility as information disseminators very seriously, which is why we are also seeking to answer the questions that you may have about HMPV. So first and foremost, what is HMPV may be a concern. As we told you, it is human metapneumovirus. It's a respiratory virus. It was discovered in 2001. So it's not something which is a novel coronavirus as we saw in 2019, 2020. It's been something that has been that's been around for 23, 24 years. It causes upper and lower respiratory infections. Now, what are the symptoms? Here is where things get tricky. The symptoms are a cough, runny nose, fever, sore throat, wheezing, or shortness of breath. Now, you can look at these symptoms and say these are the same as that of any common cold or respiratory related problem, especially at this time of the weather. Doesn't mean that if you have a sore throat or if you're runny nose, you necessarily have HMPV. But be clear, HMPV can lead to bronchitis or pneumonia. Can it lead to hospitalization? Now, this virus usually causes mild disease. It can cause hospitalization in children. No coincidence that the 3 cases so far of infants below 1 year old. Immunocompromised people are at higher risk. How can HMPV be prevented? That's the next question. Well, the answer is what we should have learned from childhood, what we learned the hard way in 2020. Wash hands with soap and water for about 20 seconds. Thoroughly cover your mouth and nose while coughing and sneezing. Wear a mask in public and crowded places. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Now, is HMPV similar to COVID? They both are respiratory symptoms. They both spread via respiratory droplets. But COVID spreads across the year and COVID also mutates, which is why you had the Alpha, Delta variant and so Omicron and all those variants. HMPV so far in the 24 years it's been there has never mutated. There's never been any strain, and HMPV peaks during winter and spring. How can you treat HMPV? There is no specific antiviral treatment or there is no vaccine. It can be managed by addressing the symptoms. So if you have a cold or a sore throat, you take care of the symptoms, not the problem. You also should self-isolate yourself and you should seek early medical advice. Do not self-medicate. And as we said, the Indian government insists there is no cause for alarm. Be aware, be clear, do not panic. There is no unusual surge in cases. The virus has been in circulation in India. 3 cases have been detected. There will be a lot more. Doesn't mean you need to panic.